Hi, everybody. Um, how's it going? So, today we are going to do a little bit of RAG construction and hooking it up to Lovable. So we do have a Lovable specific code that you can redeem for, uh, a certain percentage off, I think. But we'll post that in the description. It will be valid for like just 24 hours so you can give it a try. Okay, so the idea today is that we are going to build a an agentic, not just any kind of RAG, an agentic RAG process, and then we will hook it up to Lovable. And as a basis, excuse me, as a basis, we'll run it off Moment's documentation. So for the ones that have checked out Momen, Momen is a no-code full stack web app development platform. So its documentation is somewhat involved, fairly long, and difficult to feed into AI in one go. Also, you probably don't want to do that, even if you could, because of cost issues. Right, so let's go through how we're going to do this. I've created this thing called RAG doc helper. I will share a public link. I'll put it in the chat. So for the ones that want to build along with me, you can see how I build this. I've got these tables. I've already constructed these tables. The account table is automatically created for us. The main thing is going to be the chunk table, the document table, and the keyword table. At the moment, they're all empty. Right? They're all empty. So let's check out the chunk table's structure. We've got the ID created at and updated at the usual suspects. And we've got the original content and the enriched content. And here lies the crux of doing a good RAG solution. You need to break down your document into semantically coherent pieces. And because texts are usually written with context in mind, for example, if you look at here, if we chunked this part, usage scenarios, well, it'll be very strange because it doesn't say what we're talking about. We don't know that this is talking about the conditional view component. So a good RAG system starts off with good pre-processing. You chunk, and then you have to enrich the content of each chunk using large language models, and that's what I did. The code that I used to I'll probably just publish that on GitHub. The code that I used to enrich using large language models and enrich the chunking. I could have done that, or I wish I could have done that on Momen, which I probably could, but without the full action flow revamp, it's going to be very tedious. That's why I did that part in code. So the result of that, I can probably show you, of the chunking looks like I have to switch a window, I think, but that shouldn't be a problem. Let me just switch the content. Window capture, I'll switch to a different window. It's called that is, oh, here we go. Okay, this is what I did. So I broke down Moment's documentation into these very large JSON files. You can see we have the original content, which is just verbatim from the text. And then we have the enriched content. And the enriched content has a bit more context about what we're talking about. So take the, let's take a look at this particular one here. The original content, it's actually not too bad. It took the overview and usage scenario, but if we go down to something like rerun as a condition, it's in here. This is not very good as a piece of text. It says conditional evaluation order subviews, blah, 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 blah. And we don't know what the hell is a conditional evaluation order. Why do we do that? So here it explains that the conditional view is a core feature of building dynamic intelligent user interfaces, and then it starts explaining. So it's a lot more useful as source of information. Okay, so that will go in, and we will run embedding on the enriched content rather than the original content. We keep the original content around just because we can. And then we have the document. The document really is going to be made up of chunks. We are just going to have the title and the description of the document. And then we have some keywords, which I may or may not use. I don't think I will use it this time, but typically in a RAG system, you will have the vector search, and then you will have the well, you have the dense vector search, which is from the large language model embeddings, and then you have these traditional searches, such as best match 25 or TF over IDF. But these we don't need to bother about, or we can just do keyword searches, right? And then you will go through a stage called re-ranking, and that's what's known as hybrid search. Basically, you got the one side that's using the vector embedding, the other side using something else, and then we will mimic some of that here. The next part that we're gonna have is exactly that. I have the vector chunk retriever, so that gives us a single chunk using vector search. And then we can also have a precise chunk retriever. In this case, we'll take the document ID and the chunk index. So I'm not using keyword here, but if you wanted to, you could use keywords to do the searching. And the output is just going to be like we will output the document title, the enriched content, the original content, and the chunk title. Those are the things that we're going to output. And then here, the output is just going to be the document ID, which the large language model may or may not choose to use to search further, and then the document description, enriched and enriched. Let me just name enriched content. Enriched content, and then I index within document. So that's like the sequence, like which chunk it is. Is it the first chunk or the last chunk? All right, and then we are going to have an agent. Instead of using 4.0 mini, let's try something fancy. We'll use the, give it, let's give it a very little temperature. And we'll add a 0 to that just for good, wow. Yeah, that's the maximum it can do. And we'll give it, I don't know, 20 rounds. That means how many times the large language model can go in and invoke tools or have humans interact with it. So here is fairly, I haven't finished this whole thing, obviously. We just have the query. That's what the user asks. For example, it could be something like, how do I build a product list in Momen? Right? And then, or how do I build a website that displays product information? And oh, I think I'm sharing the wrong window again. I'm not very good with this, am I? We are looking at Chrome and rag.helper. I've been talking with the JSON file as a background. Sorry, let's go back. Okay, so we were looking at the chunk table. So it's embedded on the enriched content part. And then in the action flow, we have two action flows, which we will use as a tool for the AI. One is a vector chunk retriever. It is going to return the document ID, the document description, the index within document, and enriched content. And the way it does the searching is by finding the chunk whose enriched content is the closest match to the query. And the query will be formulated by the large language model during at runtime. And the next one is the precise chunk retriever. In this case, we will find the chunk that matches the index as well as the document ID. And then we just output the chunk title, the original content, enriched content, and the document title. Or maybe we don't even need the original content. I'll just get rid of that. It's probably too much stuff to be passing around the AI context. Okay, so we call this the assistant, or Momen assistant. And I haven't finished building the entire agent, so let's build it now. The role of this is a Momen tutor. The goal is by researching Momen documentation iteratively, answer the user's query. And then we put in the user's query. And the constraint is that only answer Momen-related topics. Yes, based only on what you found in Momen documentation. And then the other thing is if otherwise, say you can't help. Base your answer only on what you found in Momen documentation. Okay, that's good. So now let's give the AI some eyes. Well, yes, hands, tools. Description. Fetch the most relevant chunk in Momen documentation using vector similarity search. The query. Query is formulate the query based on, well, technically we could use something like hide. It's called hypothetical. So you ask the AI to come up with a hypothetical answer, and then search based on that, because that. Okay, so let's keep it simple for now. Query. A piece of text that is going to be embedded using a large language model, and then used as the vector to search for the chunk. Okay, something like that. And in terms of the outputs, I mean, it really doesn't matter in this case because these are fairly self-explanatory. And then we'll do the next one. We'll add the precise chunk retriever. use this to find an exact chunk, and then use document ID and chunk index. Okay, so the chunk index is 1 based, not 0 based. So that's so let's call it minimum of 1. Minimum is 1. Okay, cool. And in terms of the output, we won't touch it yet. So let's give it a try. Let's first sync the changes and then import the documents. I'm going to import some CSV. We are, I think, let me find it. Implementation specific code, and we are looking at nope. Chunking project. I think I found it. Output. And complete keywords, chunks, and that's okay. Actually, I'm missing a table. So I got the keywords, I got the chunks, but I don't have the documents. So I need to generate a document. I'm just going to ask AI to generate the document for now. Generate another CSV for all the documents. And it should contain, just to make my life simpler, I'm going to ask it to, it should contain, what do I have in document? Title, description, and URL. Description, URL, and path. And I'm missing the path here. The path is here only to be used for matching keywords to the document. So while AI is doing its thing, it shouldn't take too long. We can take a look at what I have in Love. I have 5 credits left. Great. I do have another account that has like 15, so I'll probably use that one. I will use a different account. Let me log in first. Sorry, just trying to log in. All right, here we go. That's my 21 points here. And by the way, our discount code for today is LoveRag, and I will post that into the chat. Hi, Joe. Great. So I have my files ready. The AI is usually AIs are just fantastic at doing these mundane tasks. All right, I will import the document in the chunks. Okay. Here we go. Documents should go into document. The title will go to title. Description goes into there. URL goes in there. And I forgot to sync the changes. Sorry. That should take too long. Three files. That's now uploaded. That's the documents. Oops. Yeah, that's. I just clicked refresh. Import three things. Title goes in title, description, URL, and path. So that's good. And the next one is, what is this? Keywords. Okay, so let's just put in a bunch of keywords. Actually, that's fine. We're not going to use those keywords anyway, so it doesn't matter. Chunk is where the important thing is. So we got the original content, the enriched content, the index, a chunk index, word count. Well, I just included those just because I can, really. So the document is that, and we're going to use, we can't tie these up together yet because I forgot another thing. Document titles should be unique. Otherwise, we're not allowed to match on it. And let me just see if I got the document title in here, but I don't have the document path. I have a source file. Okay, and what about the documents in here then? Momen docs. Okay, path is good. So let's make the path unique. Unique path. We probably should make these URLs unique as well because, yeah, let's do that. Why not? Unique document URL. Okay. Yeah. I could just keep adding rather than closing it. That's stupid. Unique document URL, unique document title. We want the titles to be unique as well. So, okay, so that will synchronize. And then we can properly import. Document, title, description, URL, path. So we'll just do the keywords. And then we have the chunks. Let's match this one first. We'll do a path. And this one has a path. Document. Oh, it's called source file. Fine. Same thing. Title, subsection, section, word count, index, index and enriched content. Okay, next. So that's what's going to be imported. Completed. Cool. So now we have the chunks. They're fairly long. And then we have the documents. That's, I think we have like, I don't know, quite a few. The largest ID is what? 93 documents and 300 chunks. We have broken them down a little bit. So for short documents, it could even make sense to not even chunk them, just keep each document as its own. All right, so let's give it a try. We'll say how, I've never tried this, so live demos, eh? How do I build a product website? Let's see. Well, that's pretty, it just directly, okay. So, okay, when researching, break down logically, break down the user's query into queries more amenable. How do I even spell amenable? More friendly to vector embed, vector similarity search. Multiple queries. Okay, so let's try that. You can also explore the entirety of each document based on if a single chunk does not sufficiently answer the question. A single chunk is not enough to, is not sufficient to answer the question, for answering the question. Okay, so let's give it a try again. Let's see what it does. We first called how to, that's not very useful, is it? Let's find something more clever. Gemini Pro, typically slightly more clever. That's not very useful, is it? Oh, it does go on further. What is a component? Yes, this is cool. Look, this is actual agentic RAG at works. Fantastic. Okay, so let's take a look at what the AI did. So I first searched just the user thing, and then it got a bunch of answer. Well, it got a single chunk, and then it started asking further questions. What is a component? And this particular one here, components are fundamental, reusable building blocks of any digital interface, analogs to shapes and text box in PowerPoint. Okay, that's because I gave it some stupid thing. Actually, there's something more I can improve upon. background information about Momen. So I did write an entire between these lines. I did write an entire article about what Momen is so that AI can help to help okay, so here we go. Let's try it again. And maybe this time I can even use Flash. So now it has a massive thing. Let's see what. That's okay. A define brings your life. Okay, maybe I should ask it like, how do I build the database must be, you must be specific. It did not search the doc, so let's try to make search the doc. Whenever specific information is needed that's not found in the background, you must research Momen documentation iteratively. Answer the user's query. And we'll put in the query. Note. Using tools like vector chunk, retriever, and precise chunk retriever. Let's run it again. See what it does. That's crazy. How would... I mean, Gemini knows a lot about Momen. Tell me exactly how I should build out the database. Okay, I think it knows too much from this piece of text I gave it. So let's get rid of it. Otherwise, it kind of knows a bit too much, so we don't really get to see the agentic part. Is not. Whenever specific information is needed, you must research. Okay. So that goes in there. All right, I guess that's that. So let's give it a bit of a formatting adjustment. Output only as a guide. Put only a tutorial in markdown format. All right, so let's save that and then let's link it up to Lovable. So we have this tool that we have somewhat upgraded. It's still a bit crude, so we're building something fancier, which we will show. Think next time, within a week we'll have it. It's gonna be a lot cooler, fancy visuals and all that. We'll copy this and then we'll paste it in here. Very fancy. Okay, so we just put it in here and hold on. Here we go. Yeah, so now it's using 2.5 Pro. And we'll generate a piece of prompt. So let's go through what the prompt does while we run this. Copy and go to Lovable. Yay, here we go. We paste it in. And I have 21 credits. That's always a thing with building using Lovable. It's so let's see. You're a front-end developer and you're creating an application that includes an AI agent. You must log in. It's the application scenario. Okay. Actually, that's not too bad. So this application scenario is we got it using AI. So the AI, when we clicked this button, the generate button, we actually invoke a piece of AI to figure out what the user might want to achieve when integrating this particular agent. Actually, that's not bad at all. Maybe I should just ask that question, eh? Core functions, research, moment, documentation, iteratively break down complex and effectively information retrieval, output response structured markdown format. Okay, that's not bad at all. Then we got some specifics about how to interact with Momen and how to upload files and all that stuff. That's not bad. Cool. And just for funsies, we could make it structured. Oh. Yeah, Gemini has its problems. It has a problem with structured output and tool calling. Well, well, well. Otherwise, Gemini is like super great. And so let's see if I can use some other. Maybe we use Gemini. Oh, sorry, GPT-5. Make it 20 round. That's not too bad. Structured. And we got give it uh maybe like an intro. Actually, so let's go back and not mess this one up. We'll stick with what we had and then just create a clone. So we modify on this part. So we call it, so let's use GPT-5 mini and maybe just also include some kind of image. I don't know what we will use image for, but we'll see. Desired UI or something. I don't know, maybe just call image input. And maybe I can have array of images. Yeah, it's not image inputs. And we'll give it a structured output. We'll give it a title, tutorial title, and then we call it like sections. Each section. Nah, let's call it array of object sections, and for each section we'll have a heading and then content, and then we'll mark them all as required. And actually, let's mark these as required, but then we'll have another thing called like Momen related. And if it's false, we give nothing. Momen related, okay. If false, then skip, then omit everything else. Okay. Sessions content. These are like steps to do the desired, to perform desired well, steps to do. Okay, fine. Just do something simple. Steps to do. Okay. And let's try to see. Yeah, this is good too. So we will sync this so that maybe we'll generate another one with this particular agent, and we'll call this structured. Let's call it structured moment assistant. The idea of using these structured things, then Lovable can produce corresponding user interface to properly display that. Oh, here we go. Fancy. Now, for anyone wondering, I will first try that, and then we will we'll first sign up. Jiang Yaokai. Create an account. Require is not defined. Oh, God. So let's give this to Lovable. So that's a thing you can. That's some. Wow, that's just normal for Lovable. But when in doubt, you could just right click and use inspect, and then you probably find under console, you will probably find some error message that you can then send to Lovable to ask it to fix it for you. What did it change? Oh yeah, import is good. Don't use require. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look, see if we can sign up now. Yaokai. Hey, that's not bad. Here we go. Ask me anything about my platform. Okay, how do I give me a step-by-step guide on how to build a e-commerce website? I have I am selling I don't know, computer parts. I need good database structure to keep track of my inventory. I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's see. Here's all AI. Know me. AI is gonna do its fancy stuff. It says generating response. So let's take a look at what it's actually doing. You can actually tell. Oh, here we go. Momen assistant. It's doing something. It says it's streaming. It has 2 messages. Fresh. Any messages? Nothing yet. Oh, 3 messages now. I just output some. I didn't call any tools. That's not very helpful, is it? So let's take a look. Also, this looks ugly, right? So let's make it. Oh, that UI is very, very broken. Look at this. So Lovable, it's not properly accumulating the outputs. So it kind of just shows you some and then keeps the next one becomes the next message. Oh, well. That is very painful. So let's use a different one. This time we'll use the structured Momen assistant, and we'll generate a new prompt. And this time, because it's using structured output, we will get a slightly different visualization because so let's take a look, right? Because in this way, you can use cards to show the final results rather than just showing a bunch of text. So let's take a look. Target user moment is seeking app development without coding experience. Okay. Core functions. Okay, so that's not too bad. And in terms of the output, these are a bunch of useless stuff, but we do have New users, AI. Okay, here we go. The variables created the result. Subscribe to the result via WebSocket. Hello message. Yeah, here we go. This here data, reasoning content. Okay, the inside data. What do we have? Yeah, result of data types below. Here, that's what it gives. The tutorial title, type, description. Yeah, so that is, although we really shouldn't give it a bunch of escapes. It makes it a lot harder to read. And that's things we have. Okay, cool. So let's wait for it. And hopefully this time it will work. I was really hoping that the Agentic RAG thing is going to work better than it did. Maybe AI just maybe I should try something like oh, you know what? Here I should also ask it to give sources. At every single step, give the source. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we can find each chunk's documents URL. Yes. Source URL, document URL. That way it forces it to the URL of the document where source inform of the document where that the source chunk belongs to. So this forces the AI to always provide a source. So it has to do research. How to build a, what is it? Unhappy about. Filter type. Oh, sorry. Get rid of this. How to build an e-commerce website. And I'm not going to send any images. I'm just going to keep it as Momen related false. That's not good. We'll just add some information. Momen can be used to build web apps. Okay. Momen related false? What? Applications. Oh, this time it thinks it is related now. So web application. Okay, fine. It's not doing any research, is it? Oh, it got rid of my tools. Damn. That's very unfortunate. I'm not gonna give. That's why it wasn't doing the stuff I think it should. Okay. Starts from 1. Okay. That is why. Damn. The reason was I turned on structured output for Gemini, and Gemini does not support tool calling, therefore I got rid of all my tool calls. That's bad. Starts from 0, oh, from 1. Okay, so now, much better. Much, much better. The queries looked really weird though, but other than that, it's not too bad. I think this is gonna work. So let's sync the changes. And since Lovable is broken, let's regenerate this. That is very funny. Copy and start a new prompt. Okay, this has to work. Please, Lovable, do your thing. Do your magic. It fails like 2 times out of 3. So I really need to make this prompt just that bit better so we get a more reliable result. But this is now really cool. While we're waiting for it, while we're waiting for it, this is now going to be super cool. How to build a product website. And let's use flat up. Let's use this one here. How do I connect payment? Here we go. What does it say? To begin interacting Stripe payments. Yay, the search is working. I caught another one. Refund table, action flow docs. How to retrieve payment and refund status within Momen application front end and provide best practice for troubleshooting. Yes, that's not bad at all. Step 1, activate the payment module. Not bad. After activating payments, open settings, payment Stripe. Enter your Stripe API key from Stripe dashboard, the publishable key and secret key. Optionally, add your brand name, logos, or blah, 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 refer branding. Save those credentials that enable Momen built-in payment action flow to call Stripe on your behalf securely. And that's a link. And that's our step 2. This is great. Ah. Got dev? Really? Come on. .app. Oh, well, I guess that's AI for you. Let's use something slightly more advanced. This time it's GPT-5. It should be more clever. And stop making stuff up. Just don't go crazy. Lower your temperature, please. And let's try it. Wait, what? That's not good. Oh, I remember. GPT-5 has a problem with the temperature setting. If you change the temperature on GPT-5, it's broken. I don't know why, but that's the GPT for you. I caught two tools and it gave that. This time it gave a correct link. Or is it a correct link? Document URL. Did I return that? Maybe I didn't return that. No, I did not return that. That is stupid. That's why all the AIs got it wrong. Document URL. Now we are talking. Here and in here we're not returning the document URL either. Document URL. Okay, here we go. Save that. Save that. Save the changes. This is still working. Still going. Caught 3 tools this time. Precise chunk retriever. Chunk 1, document 23. And this time, we got the correct link, finally. And we hear that lovely sound. Welcome back. I do have an account now. And what would you like to learn? How do I sell stuff and get paid online? Oh, the tense moment. In progress. Temperature does not support 0, which is small, yeah. Only default 1 is supported. Yeah, that's the... Okay, here it's calling a bunch of tools on our behalf. Momen payment, Stripe checkout, sell, products, e-commerce. Not bad. What is this? Cards checkout, something, something. I mean, in a really good setup, you would, inside here, inside this query, you would give some examples to show what are good search terms. But I'm lazy, so I didn't do that. And this is good enough. Hey, here we go. Look at that. Tutorial ready. Copy, download. Okay, what does it do? Download. It has a markdown. That's not bad. Let's take a look at this markdown. That's actually a proper markdown. That's not bad at all. Enable payment on your Momen project. View documentation. That takes you to the documentation. Ah, this is what we're talking now, eh? Set up your Stripe account, understand auto-generate payment action flows, model your products in Momen's database, create order table to track buyer. Query pending. Yep, that's not bad. What is this? Where is this? This is still payment. What is this? This is still payment. Did it find anything else? Well, it always goes to payment. That's not useful. What does this do? It still goes to payment. It goes the same thing all the time. Brand and UX design. That's not good, useful. Test. Okay. I mean, that's what the AI did. So what if I said like, how to create a to-do app with a premium paywall. Other things that I could improve upon is instead of returning just one, I may be able to return like multiple documents so that the AI has an easier time, finding relevant stuff. Currently, I don't even have a way to list the documentation. So what is this? Oh, this takes us to permissions. Not too bad. Build a paywall UI. That's a payment thing. Users. That's permissions. Showing a list. That's not bad. Build a UI, list, and form for to-dos. That's not bad. Permission. Data model. What does it say? Data management. How to do CRUD. Yay. So this is it. This is our not too fancy, but working agentic RAG workflow and integrated into Lovable. We integrate that with we just copy the stuff that we built on Momen and then we put it in our prompt generator. We have called it the Vibe Architect, and that gives you this. And I will share this particular thing. I'm going to publish this. Copy link. I'm going to send it out and you guys can all have a try. Well, thank you very much. That'll be it today for this live stream. And if you, I think the next live stream is also going to be somewhat related to using Lovable. And if you guys have topics in mind that you would like me to discuss, please let me know. And then if you have questions, you can always, always feel free to ask questions in the chat. If I notice it, I may just answer. If I don't, I will review them at the end of the live stream and get to the questions. Thank you. Bye.